I'll always remember the first time I tried out Tinder. It happened a while back when everyone was talking about the app. I thought, why not give it a shot? So on a busy evening, I downloaded the app on my phone. Getting my profile set up took some time, maybe around 10 minutes. I selected 4 pictures that showed me in a good light. I'm not really creative with bios like some people are, so I wrote some basic stuff about myself. I mentioned I loved pets, played basketball in college, and enjoyed cooking. I started swiping right on a bunch of profiles just to see what would happen. I used up all my likes quicker than I expected, but surprisingly, I didn't get any matches. It was a blow to my confidence. I had always thought I was good looking, so it was confusing that no one matched with me. I waited for a notification, and finally I got a match. I was pretty thrilled. And then things got even more interesting. I had matched with an incredibly attractive person. Their pictures were stunning, and they were around the same age as me. They mentioned they were into hiking and loved classic rock music. We started chatting. It was a bit awkward initially, but we soon found some common interests. They seemed genuinely interested in me and said I had a cool vibe. We discovered we both enjoyed watching documentaries, especially about wildlife. They suggested we watch a documentary together at their place. I agreed and asked for their phone number. They gave me their number, and I texted them to let them know I had it. They sent me their address, which turned out to be not too far from my location. I told my family I was heading out and made my way there. When I arrived at their address, I noticed a few things that gave me pause. There were a couple of bikes in the driveway, and the surroundings seemed pretty quiet. They messaged me to come around to the back entrance since the front door made a lot of noise. I messaged them, asking if they had any roommates around, but they didn't reply this time. I started feeling a bit off about the situation. Slowly, I made my way around to the backyard, sensing some movement. I saw a curtain twitch by the side window, as if someone had been looking out, but it fell back in place when they noticed me. I messaged again, asking if they were peeking through the window, but there was no answer. I began to feel uneasy. I thought about calling them, but when I tried to dial, it showed private number, meaning they might be using a hidden number. What got me even more on edge was when I heard a faint sound from behind the sliding glass door, like someone was standing there. I didn't panic. Instead, I walked back around the house and then quickly made my way to my car. I drove home and checked my messages. They had sent me more texts, asking where I went and why I left. The last few messages were unsettling. They admitted they weren't the person they had claimed to be, and they hinted that they knew things about me. That's when I decided to block their number and report the situation. It felt like something out of a suspenseful story, but thankfully, I didn't receive any odd calls or messages afterward. I've used Tinder casually since then, but I've become more cautious about meeting people in person.
After successfully graduating from university, I joined my friends on a well-deserved grad trip to mark the occasion. However, upon returning home, I came to a disheartening realization. I hadn't made any plans for my upcoming 22nd birthday, which was looming just around the corner. With my girlfriends engrossed in their own pursuits, I figured I might as well amuse myself on Tinder. I didn't use it much, but sometimes I wanted some excitement, and Tinder usually did the trick. I matched with a guy pretty quickly. He was around my age and had a good body shape, not too skinny or too tall. He looked neat, with short hair like military style and nice clothes. We talked a bit, and I hoped we'd chat more before meeting, but he was direct. He didn't even ask what I studied. While I also wanted to meet him, I wished we had more time to talk. I tried to get him to share more about himself before agreeing to meet, but he wasn't very open, only saying he had money problems lately. Still, he wanted to take me on a date despite that. He suggested a bar I didn't know, saying he was a regular there. I joked that he might be a heavy drinker, but he said we should talk in person. He explained he wasn't good at texting. I was unsure, but he kept asking. So I eventually said yes to meeting that night. At first, I felt better seeing that he looked like his pictures, but that feeling didn't last. Something was strange about him, maybe his intense look or his forced smile. But I tried to ignore it and give him a chance. We had a few drinks and talked for a while, but things felt weird. He didn't seem like a regular at the bar, but I didn't say anything. I never really got the chance to. During the night, he kept asking if I wanted to go to the hotel where he was staying. I said no because it sounded creepy for a few reasons. One, if he was low on money, his hotel might be a cheap, weird place. Also, it was clear he just wanted a quick thing. I decided to pay for my drinks and leave, but he insisted on paying. I was surprised and asked what he was doing. He got a bit upset and said it's fine and I can pay if I want. Then he apologized for snapping and said he was tipsy. I texted my friends hoping they'd help me out of this situation, but they didn't reply much, like they were ignoring me. I should have left then, but I felt sad and agreed to go to his hotel again. I thought it would be a cheap place, but we ended up in a fancy hotel lobby. I wasn't sure if he lied about his money or if I should be relieved he wasn't broke. Things got really scary when he locked the hotel room door right after we went in. The room was way too neat for someone staying there, like he said. There was only an empty suitcase. When I turned around, he had a creepy smile on his face, and that's how the story ends. The man left the hotel room with the suitcase, and the girl vanished without a trace. Her friends looked everywhere, but she was never found again. It's a chilling reminder that danger can hide in places we least expect, even in the world of online connections.